What makes you qualified to tell us what success means? In this moment, whether consciously, subconsciously, or unconsciously, if you've fallen asleep already, sorry about that, you're judging my every move. You're naturally and internally evaluating the content of my speech to determine whether my words are worth your time. Well, I'm sorry to inform you, but you're kind of stuck with me now. But before you leave, I am aware that I'm not your first choice of speakers when it comes to any discussion of success. When we look for advice on how to be successful, we listen almost exclusively to those who are already successful, which makes sense. There's a reason why Bill Gates has over 62 million followers on Twitter. There's a reason why Steve Jobs' Stanford commencement speech has over 42 million views on YouTube. And there's a reason why the most popular episode on Joe Rogan's podcast is Elon Musk, talking about the future of humanity and smoking weed. But when those we deem less qualified talk about success, they almost never talk about the process through which they formed their current understanding of success. It's a shame, really, because the main reason why most of us look for success but don't find it is because we don't understand what it is. Honestly though, me neither. But I, like all of you here today, have the ability to think and reflect. So let's break down what success is and how we should go about achieving it together. Let's start off with a million-dollar question. What is success? The most objective context in which we use the word success is in the adjective successful. We say something is successful because the aim or goal of an action was fulfilled. A mission was successful because a target was eliminated. A procedure was successful because a tumor was removed. And an event was successful because it raised enough funds or achieved its desired impact. But when we say someone is successful, the term becomes more convoluted. So let's look at some examples. What are some successful people? The ones that we've already gone over are Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, and Elon Musk. What about them makes them successful? Their most obvious commonality is that they're all unfathomably rich. By this point in your life, however, someone, be it a parent, a teacher, a mentor, or a friend, has probably told you that wealth should not be your sole objective in life, or something along the lines of money is not everything. And it's true, because these great individuals likely didn't have money in mind when they created their businesses from scratch or ventured out into a new industry. They just weren't looking for it. So what were they looking for? They were looking for ways to change the world with their passions. Now, your passion doesn't have to be in technology. It can be in law, medicine, or business. It can also be in art, literature, or League of Legends. What seems to be the case is that if you do what you're really passionate about, the money will come. So now the question becomes, what's passion? Passion is the ability to do whatever it takes to achieve your goals in your particular field of interest. The official definition of the word is passion is a strong and uncontrollable emotion. To put that in perspective, if you're really passionate about a technology, you will overcome whatever stands between you and that breakthrough. If you genuinely cared about a sport, you don't care how much it hurts, you will push through that pain barrier and you will win that race. A more relevant example might be in video games. We spend hours and hours in a first-person shooter game like Valorant, honing our reaction speed to ungodly levels to hit that perfect shot because we're obsessed with winning, or just not losing. Admittedly, it is much easier to get addicted to video games than it is to become inseparable from a calculus textbook, because the former is designed to spike your levels of pleasure, while the latter seems designed to make you fall asleep. But there are individuals out there who willingly sit in front of an equation and work tirelessly to solve it, as there are individuals out there who willingly become doctors and lawyers, and not just out of parental and societal pressure. Why? Because they find joy and fulfillment in these activities in the long term. Sure, it's always more enjoyable to indulge on content in social media than it is to master knowledge in any subject area, but one leaves you feeling empty, and the other leaves you with the necessary skills to reach greater heights in your life and to help free others from their predicaments. Saving lives will always be more meaningful than killing monsters. So let's do a quick recap. If passion drives success, and it's something that's definitely real and obtainable, how do we go about finding it? It's important to note that passion is innate. By the time we become concerned with working towards success or finding our passions, our interests have likely solidified over years of subconsciously intaking and processing information from our surroundings to create our own unique individual ideas of what path we will choose to walk. So then, in that sense, it really comes down to how we mine out the queries of our minds to uncover the gold that we were designed to look for all this time. But that comes from putting ourselves in really challenging situations. To quote Alexis Carrel, Nobel Prize winner, "Man cannot remake himself without suffering, for he is both the marble and the sculptor." Try to dive deep into a subject for a year, or 2, or even 3. Stick with it. If you fall in love with the process, the results will come. At least, that's what I tried to do with rowing. I'm a below average rower. Matter of fact, I'm one of the weakest members on my team, but that's not necessarily my focus. I didn't join the rowing team to be the strongest or the fastest, although that's always a good goal to have. But on day 1, I tried out for the team because I wanted to be a part of a pursuit of relentlessness, a pursuit of excellence, and a pursuit of passion. You see, it's impossible to find any success whatsoever in the sport of rowing without having some sort of fire burning in your heart. Actually, coxswains, the only members of the rowing team who don't actually row, are usually the most passionate of us all. There are days where you feel invincible, like your entire body is bulletproof, and you're just ready to take on anyone and anything. And then there are days where you have to drag yourself out of bed, put yourself through a mind-numbing amount of pain, forgetting the reason why. There are days where you feel like you can do this forever, and then there are days where you just want to quit. But what matters is that you stick with it. Success is not linear. You don't tell success when to come. Success is not a person. Success is a platform. Your actions and accolades accumulate under your feet until you reach the right height to step onto that platform. But once you're there, you'll be armed with mastery over your greatest asset, your mind. Now, usually be the time when I tell you about a quote from some ancient Greek philosopher or a successful businessman. But I actually just want you to make me a promise. You see, I'm not successful yet, at least according to my own definition of the word. But I, like all of you here, want to make something of my life. I want to leave no regrets when I go to college. And I want to make that kid version of me proud for accomplishing everything he dreamed of. But that's an extremely arduous process for just about anyone. And I haven't done much of anything for the first 3 years of my secondary school career. But thankfully, through the process of creating this talk, I think I've discovered why. I'm too scared of failure. We're too scared of failure. We're all guilty of holding back too much all the time as people because we're afraid of falling short of our aspirations and of what other people will think of us then. Well, let me tell you a little secret. Nobody's actually paying attention to you because we're all focused on climbing our own mountains. For some, they're already at the foot of the mountain, all geared up and ready to go. Some are running up the side of the mountain like gravity doesn't exist. But for others, they have to climb out of a deep valley first to even begin on their ascent. These ups and downs are how we grow, because we can't cry tears of joy and celebration if we can't laugh in the face of defeat and despair. When we look up at the peak of Mount Everest, the journey immediately seems impossible. But in life, there is no peak. There is no finish line. Heck, most of the time, there's not even a clear start line. But that's not important. Your path can be completely different from mine. But what's important is that we take that first step. So promise me this. Find what success means to you. Because that's the only definition of the word that truly matters. Work hard, play hard, and never look back. And I'll see you on the other side. Thank you.